But I'll go back to my original where I said, if your woman doesn't give you the respect you feel you deserve, you're not the man you say you are. So one, and I want to hit on what you said also.
Who?
But
Me.
Deuce, I'm gonna hit that one first. You said her perspective of me doesn't define me as a man, right? So this is your woman, right?
Yeah.
I believe it does because you made that choice.
What, to be with her?
Yes.
But clearly, a lot of women in this world do 180s.
Okay.
So they can just show you Mary Poppins and then turn into the devil.
And you can leave.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Yeah, that's
So
that's what I said.
I don't know too many women that go from Mary Poppins to the devil unless you like met her today and y'all became boyfriend girlfriend because you thought she was Mary Poppins. But it's not often that people just 180 just off the bucks for no reason.
Shit.
Not for no
You saying
reason.
they
I
show
don't know.
signs and symptoms
It's
before
not
the full.
something is always there. If you if you jump into something too early, that's your fault also.
Yeah.
But you're not the man you think you are because you didn't demand that,
Man,
right? And
standards.
so you're saying some women might not know what respect is, or they might not. And I'm using myself. So with my ex, right, the one that I said, she's basically been dominant over men probably all her life. I don't know. But from what I've seen, it was situations where she was here and the men in her life were here. So she was doing better than them. She was taking
Yeah.
care of business and all that, and they wasn't.
So
And
she never
then-
seen the example.
Yeah, she wasn't raised up with it. Now, what I'm saying is, I wasn't the man I thought I was. I put myself out there and I'll say that.
Okay.
I wasn't the man I thought I was because, I'll say this, I didn't get the respect that I thought I should get from her. She respected me to a certain level, but I didn't get the respect that I thought I should get from her because there was a level of immaturity in me also that allowed me to even deal with that type of woman. And so because I joined with her, because I made the choice to be with her, everything that came from that, because I could have said, I could have waited longer, and I could have said, I don't think I'm a deal in this. I don't think this is what I want to deal with. But in my immaturity, I didn't even know what all that I needed to be looking for. And remember last episode, I said make them mad early, so you can see
for real.
what it is that you can tolerate. I didn't have that. I didn't have that mentality. I had the, I could deal with anything.
Okay.
I could. It's all up here. I could deal with anything. I could look past anything. I could fix anything. Nah, it takes maturity to understand that whatever trauma that your woman is dealing with, she has to, one, she has to acknowledge it. Two, she has to want to deal with that thing. It's nothing I could do about it. And you have to be able. You have to be mature enough. You have to be able to recognize those things in a woman and know, is this something that I want to fight through with her? Because the effects of this is I may be experiencing a whole lot of disrespect. I may be the one that she lashes out on
Most times.
most times. The people closest to you are the ones who's going to feel the wrath.
They gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to the fire.
Yeah. And so you might think you can. And then once it happens, you realize, nah, I can't deal with this shit. You ain't the man you thought you was. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Feel you.
Does that make any sense?
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
I mean, you taking accountability for yourself. I got you. But like
you have to.
at the end of the day,
Especially if we're going to assume leadership in a
yeah,
relationship.
for sure, you taking responsibility for yourself. But that's only one part of the party.
You have to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not absolving her
Yeah.
of her responsibility of what the things that she does, but what I'm saying is you got to understand who are you in all of this.
To accept it in the beginning when you see the signs.
Yeah, that's why I literally said
To be wise enough to look for them. and
wise
pay
enough to look
attention.
for, but set the tone. Like you have to set disrespect, for example, like or like what's a small thing that's like a pet peeve that I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but like
Don't cut me off.
yeah, like something like that. Like you set a tone, and you tell her exactly what you don't like. You like, listen, if she might have did it before, you like, listen, we didn't have this conversation, so I'm not gonna hold it against you. But I do not like when you cut me off. Do not cut me off. And she might say the same thing to you. You have to respect what she said, or the relationship's not gonna work. In my opinion, like I know a relationship with me wouldn't work because like if I say that and you keep doing it, that's like you not even considering what I said. You don't care about what I said. Quote
Nah,
unquote,
definitely.
don't respect me.
So that is something. It's two things that irritate me the most in and I mentioned one of them last episode also. It's two things that irritate me the most. It's that, like, if we're having a conversation or it's an argument, argument doesn't mean you have to be yelling back and forth, right? But if we have a disagreement about something or we in our feelings about something and we having a conversation, don't cut me off mid-sentence and everything to get your point across, especially when you don't even know what I'm about to say. Matter of fact, even if you think you know what I'm about to say, don't cut me off.
Yeah.
Let me express what I'm saying, and I can do the same for you, because it doesn't. Once that happens, you done open a gate that's gonna, and I'm gonna take responsibility for my own actions. But you do open a gate for you to allow yourself to get cut off also, and now it's no reasonable resolve that's going to come from this.
Right.
The second thing I hate is if I do come to you with truth. If you tell me to tell you the truth, if you want to have this real conversation, don't get defensive.
Hold it against you.
Because it seems like in relationships, women don't understand that I'm not against you. Like, I'm not here to beat you down. I'm not here to be against you.
This is not an attack.
This is constructive criticism, to say the least. Like, if we having this conversation, you want me to be real with you, accept these things, and I'm going to accept the same thing you say to me. But what we both have to understand is there has to be room for growth. Just because you told me that this was something that you didn't like or something that really bothered you, doesn't mean that I operate like a light switch. It doesn't mean that's going to switch now. But acknowledge the growth, acknowledge the progression, acknowledge the efforts of trying to fix this thing. Like, don't come to me next month and say, you did it again. Well, how many times I did it last month? You did it like 10 times. How many times I did it this month? Twice. But all right, well, that's
progress.
That's growth. That's progress. It doesn't have to continue to be a big argument. Let's grow from this thing, because we both in this together, right? I'm not against you. You're not against me. I'm not trying to beat you down. You my woman. No man wants to do that. Woman is the glory of the man. No man wants to beat his woman down. This is why I said, if she doesn't respect you or how she feels about you, it kind of does define you as a man, because she is your glory. Like, I wouldn't want to send my woman out in the streets looking like anything. So I wouldn't want her treating me like anything. She's a reflection of me.
Right. One that gets on, that drives me crazy.
She was a reflection of you.
She was. One that drives me crazy is, I think in a relationship, this is probably going to be a thesis in the episode,
coming up
down the road, whatever. But how I don't think you should ever take a different side, like, in public. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, never take another side. Like, I don't care if my woman's wrong.
That.
What you mean?
Yeah, because I got
let's say
I ain't gonna dive in, but yeah. Because I definitely, that's a good one.
Well, pull up the audio for me.
I got you.
And back to what you were saying as far as cutting off. I ain't gonna cut her off. I'm just not gonna listen.
What you mean?
When she just go on and on and on about nothing.
So if she cut you off,
if she don't get to the point, it's just like right on, like.
So all right. So here's the thing. It's hard. This is hard to deal with women when it comes to like arguments and everything, because they go rapid fire on your ass. So they'll start going, and then they'll start going off topic. One thing. They hit you on like 10 things, and you can't even. It seems like you would have to cut her off to address one.
Right.
Because they'll go down a list of 10, 15 things that they are bothered by.
20 different emotions come out.
Yeah, and then you like, all right, the only one you could address is like the last two, because them the ones you remembered. And then she gonna be like, well, what about this? I'm like, you gotta come. But y'all have to have some understanding of how this communication is gonna work. Like, how we gonna do these discussions.
You gotta know your woman,
like,
too.
You really have. That's crazy that you have to lay out how y'all gonna argue. Like, look, babe, when we go through situations like this, we both gotta have these understandings that when you speak, I might have to start writing some stuff down, because I don't take offense to it. You hitting on a lot of things. I might have to write a couple of things down so we can address them.
Go get your notepad now. Huh?
I'm be like, damn, it's one of the
niggas are gonna be like, so how was your day?
What happened?
So remember, you
said
said
what?
I want you to understand your anger is not at me. You remember you said Megan at work. That pissed you off. This pissed you off.
Slow down.
Nah, I'm messing around. All right, but let's. We got a video insert. We'll play it. I'll put it in the video. And then we're going to talk about what she says.
All right.
Hey guys, hey Zoe, hey AJ. My name is Ebony, and I wanted to provide my feedback on you guys' episode 10, where you brought up the subject of submission. And I want to say that I think that it is a fair statement to say that Black women are less likely than white women to submit. And I think that's partly because of what society has propagated in terms of that certain situation. And then I think the other part is that, you know, we hear it so much from Black men, and I feel as though it'll be unfair to say it's not true if that has been their experience. Who are we to say, you know, it's not true if that's been their experience? But my question to you guys is, because Zoe had brought up a valid point, that he doesn't think that Black women don't want to submit, but possibly they don't know how to. And I think that is true. But then the other part of it too, and from my perspective, I think that Black women want to, but maybe they don't want to submit to the wrong man. And what I mean by that is, you know, you have to ask, is it fair to say, you know, first and foremost, is he submitting to God himself, first and foremost? And then secondly, does she trust him enough to submit to him? Does he possess the certain characteristics that a man should possess in order to be in that situation, that she feels comfortable and safe enough to be led by him? Because as women, we like to be covered. We like security. We like, you know, to feel safe with the man that we're with. And part of the problem could be that she, you know, obviously with the wrong man, she picked the wrong partner. She doesn't feel that security to the point where she doesn't trust him enough to want to submit to him. And then part of it, men have to take accountability to step up to those, to be that type of man, to possess the type of qualities that he is in the position to lead and will want a woman to submit to him. So my question to you guys, do you think those two things is a fair question to ask? One, you know, is he first submitting to God? And then two, do you think that a woman's lacking trust in a man for whatever reason could be why, you know, she doesn't want to submit?
All right, so
appreciate you, Abby.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
So she hit those two questions. She said, could the lack of trust in a man be the reason she doesn't want to submit? And is that man first submitted to God? So we're going to hit her second question. Was actually, her first question was, is the man submitted to God? Her second question was, could it be because of lack of trust, lack of ability to trust the man that she doesn't submit to him? Saying like,
yeah, I get it.
They'll submit to the right man. So she's saying, is it a problem with him being the wrong man why she wouldn't submit to him?
Or not being the man she
you wanna chime on it first, AJ?
Yeah. We can hit that first. So me personally, I believe that that not wanting to submit to the wrong man thing, I believe that's just an excuse women use.
Yes.
And I am not being insensitive when I say this, but it's the same. I hold them to the same standard that I hold us men to, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you ask, you said her perspective of me does not define me as a man, and I said yes, it does, because she is your glory. It was you the one that chose her. Mm-hmm. It goes both ways, and so you shouldn't join with a man. You shouldn't have a boyfriend or a husband that you're not willing to submit to. Mm-hmm. I feel like you flawed in your judgment if all of a sudden now you don't want, or you never wanted to submit to him. So I think that wrong man stuff is just an excuse because you might be seeing something that you don't like, or you're not getting your way with it. But if you're going to join with somebody, you should already have in your mind, I'm going to submit to his leadership.
Commit all the way. Ain't no halfway in and halfway out, especially if you want a man to go all the way in with you. You want him to give you, you know what I'm saying, his all. Hopefully you want that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you want that. You want him to die for you. Yeah. You want him to provide and be willing to give to you when you need. You need to go all the way in with him. You want him to be faithful, right? Can he withhold his faithfulness from you? If, you know what I'm saying? If you're not being submissive until you get a 6-month plan, like what they call that shit, like before you get fully hired, the probationary process and shit.
Probationary
6 months before you submissive, and then after that it's like, oh, if you see something you don't trust again, now you're not submissive again. Like, I don't know exactly how that works, but I don't believe in that. I think we all should hold each other to, you know what I'm saying, the highest standard, and holding yourself to that standard is
So she's talking about within a relationship, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, a lot of men they seen and experienced when we was talking about episode 10, as far as like white women are more submissive than black women.
Chipper.
She agreed with it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, she agreed with it.
a lot of men experienced that or seen that. So if a woman is not being submissive when she get in a relationship, how would he know to, you know what I'm saying, continue to what the word I want to use, stay in a relationship with her and marry this woman?
And wait it
if
out
a,
like,
if a
okay,
woman
now
is
she's
not going to
submissive.
submit to me, I'm not going to even think about marriage.
Not at all.
So, you know what I'm saying? When they get that experience of submission, they like, damn, I ain't never going back. Like, this is great. This is what's good for both of us. And, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to help the bond grows. And, you know what I'm saying?
So you think a woman should be submissive in a relationship, but what is she saving for marriage? Like, for example, a woman's expecting you ain't expecting to pay the bills before you get married.
But that will be the reason you would marry young, because you practice your habits that you practice in the beginning lead you into the future.
Yeah, I get it. I'm
So
just saying,
your
like,
habits is
Nah,
already a
not even
certain
that.
way.
Do you
I'm
want a
not-
submissive woman, Jizzle?
I'm glad you just answered that question.
sure.
Asked
I
that
mean, do you have a
Nah.
submissive wife?
for sure. But I think
But she's
people
submissive
take
early.
it in
Nah,
like,
that's your answer to your question right
yeah,
there.
but like, I get it. I'm just trying to make more content. Like, I'm not
Okay,
disagreeing with it.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop
Like,
saying that because you making them.
nah, cause y'all like backing me into a corner and
You
shit.
did
Like,
it.
I agree,
You gotta-
nigga.
Yeah, you
Like,
did it. You
just
gotta-
start shooting, motherfucker. I'm trying, motherfucker,
Let's
put
stop
bullets in the
shooting.
motherfucking gun. God
Because
You
you
damn.
gotta,
say-
then you gotta take these shots, nigga.
Yeah, when you say maybe she's waiting till marriage to be submissive.
No, I ain't say. I said
too late. You
No, I'm
saying
saying you
whatever.
could. I'm saying like, all right. So in a relationship, right? You in a relationship, but I know you guys hear people like, I'm not gonna give you all of me till we get married, something like that. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, for example, like, I'm not paying for no goddamn car insurance, none of that shit. If that make
But
any
you
sense,
would be paying for something.
I would prefer to wait till I get married,
But you would
to
pay
make
for
sure
some
it's
things.
like,
just not the car insurance. But
I
you
get-
would be
I
I
get
mean,
your
damn,
example.
it's
providing some kind of
But
like
that,
mortgage and all that
I
stuff.
get your example, but I'm not marrying a woman that has not already shown me that she could be submissive to me.
I'm not saying
Or
I'm not
or that
saying she
will
didn't
be.
show you. I showed her I can pay for
You saying
stuff.
show
I'm just
all
saying
of
like,
I'm saying show me that
Yeah.
you will be. Like, you have to already be practicing a certain level of submission for me to be like, all right, this is. So I'm not going to make this mistake again. I made this mistake several
Yeah,
times
yeah,
already
I
by
got you.
joining with women and not even checking the temperature to see if they have the ability to be submissive. And I'm not saying that I boss you around, that you follow me around like a little puppy dog, but it's just understanding and trusting. She said, could it be that they don't trust the man enough to be submissive? So trust that the issue of whether you trust the man or not, that's not always on the man and that's not always on the woman. It's so many variables.
yeah, you got your own doubts. 'Cause
Yeah,
I got
it's-
doubts. And
But
I
but here's
shouldn't
the
have
thing
it.
though, when it comes to submission and trusting, that's where your faith has to come in. As a woman, if this is a man that you believe that you want to be with, you have to jump out there on faith and trust him to lead you. You have to trust him enough to be submissive to him. I can't make you. It's nothing I could do to make you believe that you can trust me. Like, I could do all I can, like taking care of all of my responsibilities. We've seen good men get cheated on. We've seen good men get put on child support, get taken advantage of and everything. So for you to trust me, like, it doesn't matter how faithful I am. It doesn't matter how much I handle my responsibilities. That's just the individual. That's just me. I mean, I'm not perfect, and I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about men in general. If that's just me, if I'm the responsible, faithful individual, like, you have to be the one to step out on faith. You would be foolish if you get with a man that you know been messing with a lot of girls in the past couple months.
Yeah, for
Who
sure.
disrespect you on a regular basis,
Yeah,
might
yeah.
smack you up every now
You
and
would
then.
be foolish to jump out there on faith and think you could trust him and be
Bad
submissive to
habits,
him.
he fuck up shit all the time, always asking you for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So the trust thing, I believe all of it is an excuse. If you're going to get, fellas, if you're going to get into a relationship with somebody, then you have to be able to lead them, which also means pouring into your woman to help her, to cultivate her into being the best woman she can be.
you gotta build
Women,
her
if
up
you're
too,
going to get
yeah.
in a relationship, then you have to be willing to submit to this man's leadership. You know, don't challenge every single thing, because it's going to make him feel like you're trying to emasculate him. It's going to make him feel like you don't believe he has the capability to take y'all wherever it is that he said that he's going to take y'all. So it's going to take faith on both sides. Don't give no excuses. Just execute.
And hopefully the man you picked, you know what I'm saying, is one who wants to grow with you and go forward and, you know what I'm saying, make you proud.
But it shouldn't even be a hopefully in that, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Y'all both should already have these type of understandings before y'all even are getting real serious.
You second guessing trust.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what the whole dating stage is about. The whole boyfriend girlfriend stage is about. Before I even propose to you, before I'm thinking about seriously living the rest of my life with you, these are things that I need to have an understanding. And it's best for me to have these understandings without us talking about it, because I don't want you to agree with me and it sounds good verbally, you know, phonetically we just, oh yeah, it sounds like it's going to work. These are things I need to see. I need to
notice them unconsciously.
Yeah, the
like,
essence
okay.
of our relationship is going to show me that this is where we can be. Like, we can move forward in this area and be serious together. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But what you mean by, you say, I heard you with the actions, but I still think you need communication with that, though.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, like, you dating a woman, she asks you what type of women you looking for. And you tell her.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, we could have the discussion and you can agree because it sounds good, but your actions could show me different.
Yeah.
So I'm not going off of what you're saying verbally. I need to know. Like, when I propose, we already had this discussion too. Like, I'm not going to propose
with doubts.
on the whim. Yeah, like, it ain't going to be no, it's a chance she might say no.
I plant this
we
shit.
both, I know that she's going to say yes. But when I do propose, it's not just that I know she's going to say yes. I know that she is the woman that I need for my life, and the woman that I could trust with my life, and the woman that I'm going to lead and pour into and live the rest of my life until the day I die.
Yeah, I got you. Because that's like saying, me, for example, I don't deal with mess, right? So if I run into a lady, we having a conversation, like we just met each other, and I'm like, listen, I don't deal with mess. I don't deal with all that toxic bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next outing I have, she's spazzing out on somebody. It's like, she's showing me who she is. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
You got one. He said, hey, look, I'm only giving 1.5 chances.
Nah.
I'm only giving 1.5 chances. Man.
What they say when a person shows you themselves for the first time,
you say believe them. Yeah, but there's always growth, though.
There's growth. You can have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
But you already did have a conversation with her. So it's like, it's going to come off like you being an asshole.
When you say I don't deal with no mess, though, she might not have known that
she know what I mean.
That mess.
Nah, that's mess.
But it's still growth. This is why I said I'm only going to allow 1.5 chances, right? It sounds funny, but I'm dead serious. So that first time, if I wasn't detailed enough with that first discussion we had, and this happens, we're gonna have a real detailed conversation.
Yeah, I get it.
And then if it happens again, and I have to initiate this conversation, it might be over, because that's 2 times. I say 1.5 because it could happen again. But she has to realize in that situation or immediately afterwards that she fucked up. And she go like,
that makes sense. Because she might have had an off day. You know, but she might not initiate that argument.
But that shows me
0.5 is the room for growth.
Yeah, that shows, and there might be more instances after that, but I have to be the one to realize whether it's starting to tone down. Oh, maybe she's really getting it. Yeah. But if it's just continuous fuckery,
like it's it flare up every 3 months.
One and done.
That boy gonna be single for a long time.
Yeah, forever. I'm gonna buy you a dog. Huh? Buy your dog.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, nigga.
Buy me some peanut butter too.
Kill that damn dog.
This nigga.